ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरान्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथाभितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्रीराधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगना ललिता श्री विशाखाविधांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी विश्वानुसुते देवी परमामी हरि प्रिये। वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण everyone. Motherji, can take over.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, we are reading the Srimad Bhagavatam. We are reading from Canto 1, Chapter 1. And today we'll be doing text 12 and text 13, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, we can start. Please accept our humble obeisances from everybody in this group who have joined, Prabhuji, and who are about to join.
Text 12, we'll read the Sanskrit and the translation. You can read the purport later on. After that, we'll go to text 13. Text 12. Shuddha janashi bhadram te bhagwan sattvatam pati devakyam vasudevasya jato yasya chikirshaya. Translation by His Divine Grace, Bhaktivedanta Swami Sri Prabhupada ki jai.
Hey.
All blessings upon you, O Sutta Goswami. Know you for what purpose the personality of God had appeared in the womb of Devaki as the son of Vasudeva. Mother, you can read the purport.
Hare Krishna, purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Bhagwan means the Almighty God, who is the controller of all opulence, power, fame, beauty, knowledge, and renunciation. He is the protector of his pure devotees. Although God is equally disposed to everyone, he is especially inclined to his devotees. Sat means the absolute truth, and persons who are servitors of the absolute truth are called Sattvatas, and the personality of Godhead who protects such pure devotees is known as the protector of Sattvatas. Bhadram te, or blessings upon you, indicates the sage's anxiety to know the absolute truth from the speaker. Lord Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, appeared to Devaki, the wife of Vasudeva. Vasudeva is the symbol of transcendental position wherein the appearance of the Supreme Lord takes place. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Now, in this particular chapter, there are 6 questions. And the whole Bhagavatam is the answer to these 6 questions. And this verse 12 and 13 itself is one of the questions. One question and also another question. Anyway, for the time being, the Prabhupada Baba is explaining the word Bhagavan. So what Bhagavan means is full with 6 opulences. Does anybody know the 6 opulences? Anybody likes to try? What are the 6 opulences? 6 Aishwarya.
Prabhuji, power, fame, wealth, renunciation. Sorry, I forgot the other 2.
Beauty.
Wealth.
Yes.
And beauty. Wealth and beauty.
Okay, so those who want the Sanskrit shlok, which has got all the 6 opulences, they can learn from me, or you can learn from the scriptures. Aishwaryasya samagrasya, viryasya yashashriya, jnana vairagya, saitam, bhaga sagana, bhaga sa itigana. It means in this verse, all the 6 are mentioned all at one go. This verse is spoken by Parashar Muni, and those who have science of self-realization, you can see this verse or find this verse in the 2nd chapter, if you don't have much reference. So it's good to learn by heart the 6 opulences of Bhagavan. Bhagavan means full of opulences, for power, fame, beauty, knowledge, and renunciation. These are called the 6 Aishwaryas. And that is why Krishna is called Bhagavan. And anyone who represents Krishna can also be called Bhagavan. Sometimes Vyasdev is also referred to as Bhagavan Vyas. Lord Shiva is also referred to as Bhagavan Vyas. Narad Muni is also referred to as Bhagavan Vyas. But actual or original Bhagavan is Krishna. So Aishwaryasya, Samagrasya, Viryasya, Yashasriya, Jnana, and Vairagya. These 6 opulences to an unlimited amount that can be found in Krishna. Krishna is most opulent, most powerful, most famous, most beautiful, most knowledgeable, and most renounced. And Prabhupada explains that Krishna owns everything, both the material and the spiritual worlds. In the 10th chapter, if you go to verse number 7, 8 says, Aham sarvasya prabhava mata sarvam pravartate. Both this material world and spiritual world belong to me. So who can be more than this? And if you open your eyes and look around, you see Krishna's 2 energies everywhere. You see earth, fire, air, ether. Within you find mind, intelligence, false ego. This is inferior energy. Superior energy is the soul within us. And Krishna says, both these energies are mine, inferior and superior. And here Krishna is called in the verse Satvat Pati, or the protector of the devotees. Krishna protects his devotees very well. Because when devotees, or those who are hearing, we are all devotees here, the more we surrender, then accordingly, Krishna will also take care of us, not only take care of us, but he will also come to us. It's said in the 4th chapter of Bhagavad-Gita, verse number 10, if I'm not wrong. Ye yathamam, not 10, 11. Ye yathamam prapadyante tam tathaiva bhajameham. That the way devotees surrender to me, I reward them accordingly. The more you surrender to Krishna, the more he will respond to you. So there's a nice saying in Hindi, also in Gujarati. You take 1 step towards Krishna, Krishna will take 100 steps towards you. You should remember that. So it all depends on our desire and our inclination. How much we want to come to know Krishna, how much we love Krishna, how much we serve Krishna. And that is why it's called Sattvapati. So Krishna protects every devotee. Anybody has any fine example in which a direct Krishna protects his devotee? Any example?
Prahlad Maharaj, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prahlad Maharaj is protected directly by Krishna as Lord Nrsimhadev. Any other example? There are many, many examples.
Prahlad.
Yeah, Prahlad Mataji just spoke. Any other?
Dhruv Maharaj.
Dhruv Maharaj, yes, he protected, but I'm saying direct protection, immediate protection.
Oh, Gajendra.
Who?
Gajendra.
Gajendra, yes, that's a nice example. Okay, 2 more famous examples. One is Draupadi. The other one is Maharaj Parikshit. Parikshit was protected by Krishna. If you read Srimad, as we go further, you'll find this verse that when he was born, his body was burnt. Now, when the body is burnt, the Atma cannot stay inside. So Krishna gave him a new body. So it's very, very amazing, very important that we have to remember these things, how he protects his devotees. And there are many, many examples as you read Srimad Bhagavatam. So that also means that even we will be protected if we are engaged in his loving, devotional service. It does not matter whether neophytes, it doesn't matter. But as we go on chanting and hearing Krishna's glories, hearing regularly, chanting means remembrance of Krishna will increase. Then what will happen? Krishna will protect us. So those who are writing notes, they can write this word Satvatpati. Now if Krishna is Satvatpati, it means devotees are Satvata. Devotees are called Sattvatas. It's already mentioned in the purport that the devotees are Sattvatas because they are engaged in the service of absolute truth. Absolute truth is called Param Satya. And from Satya comes the word Sattvata. And Krishna especially favors his devotees. He says this in the 9th chapter. Samoham sarva bhuteshu na bhaktosha naham. Bhaktoshi means, sorry, I'm forgetting the verse Sanskrit. He says, I'm equal to everyone. I'm not partial to anyone. But whoever renders service to me is dear to me and I am dear to him. So you can read, you can get this verse in the 9th chapter of Bhagavad-Gita. I have not read this verse for a long time, it's gone off my mind. So anyway, Samoham, that's the way it starts. Samoham sarva bhuteshu naham priya, I don't know, something like that. Anyway, the important thing is that Krishna especially favors his devotee. Why? Because they're engaged in serving him. He says that if you serve Krishna favorably, anukulya, then Krishna will always not just protect you, but also he will favor you. Prabhupada gives an example. A man, a gentleman may be equally disposed towards everyone, but especially is more inclined towards his own children. So when you become devotees, we are like directly children of Krishna. And that's why Krishna will protect us. Now in this verse also it says, Bhadram te. This is the mood of the audience. When you are sitting in a class, hearing Srimad Bhagavad-Gita, Bhagavatam, or Krishna Katha, our mood should be that I am going to hear about Krishna. And Krishna is Bhadra. Bhadra means all good, all auspicious. And by hearing Krishna Katha, it will bring us all good, all auspiciousness. That's why in this verse, it's the mood of the sages of Naimisharanya. Sutta Goswami is already seated on the Vyasashram, and the devotees are actually not just glorifying him, but they're actually showing the mood or the inclination that we want to hear. And that should be the mood when we hear Srimad Bhagavatam. The mood should not be that I know everything, or the mood should not be a kind of a lethargic mood, not a lazy mood. It should be full of enthusiasm, full of humility, and full of, respect for the speakers. That's why in this verse, the Sanskrit says, Bhadram te. Now, if you see the word Bhadram te means all blessings upon you. They themselves are giving their blessings to what you call Sutta Goswami, who is about to recite Srimad Bhagavatam. And remember that, as I explained earlier, this verse is one of the questions, of the 6 questions, why Krishna appeared in the womb of Devaki as the son of Vasudeva. Both the names of the parents are given in this particular verse. It means that this question has an answer, which is mentioned later on in the Srimad Bhagavatam. As you read Bhagavatam, this particular question will be expanded into thousands of verses. Each question has thousands of answers. So in this way, the whole Bhagavatam is made. Next, it says, the sages were very anxious to hear about Krishna. For example, your son or your daughter is studying outside Kenya or outside, far away from you. And if one of the friends come who has been with your son or your daughter, you're going to ask, how is he? What is he doing? Is he faring well? Is he studying well? Is his health good? You'll ask thousands of questions to get an information which is called a first-hand information, not just a phone call. Just like there's a very nice story to explain this point, that one mother used to write to his son who was studying overseas, and she had been writing, and she is not getting any response for 6 months. And the mother was very, very worried. He said, my dear son, I am writing to you, yet the reply didn't come. So she went to a friend and asked the friend, what do I do now? And the friend gave a very good idea. That this time when you write the whole letter, and then at the end you write PS. You know what is PS? PS means or enclosure. Enclosed, I found I am enclosing $100. And immediately the reply came. I got your letter, but I didn't get the dollars. That was a trick, actually. So it means son was hearing, but the response he didn't want to give. He was well, but the duty of the son was to give the response. So I'm giving you this example that when we are hearing Krishna, at the same time, we also have to put a kind of $100 by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, which will keep our mind clear. And our connection will be very clear. Of course, Krishna is not like that son. But the thing is that the response will be much better. Krishna responds immediately. Many people will say, in fact, I can share my personal experiences. So sometimes when I go into difficulties, especially not my personal difficulties, but sometimes I have to help people who are very close to me. And then the problem doesn't get sorted out. So what happens is I don't feel very good. And what happens the same day, or maybe the second or the third day, the reply comes in. It's not that Krishna speaks to me, but the reply will come that he gives you the direction how to sort the problem out. Or sometimes the problem gets sorted out by itself. And people feel so good that yes, it is working. So that's why we also advise devotees of the Nairobi temple, especially who come to take darshan of Banki Bihari or Radha Sitaram Lakshmana or Jagannath Baldev Subhadra or Gaur Nitai, that if you ever have problems, please fold your hands, speak here. Instead of speaking, presenting your problems to anyone else, first speak here. Then you can share your problem and it responds. The deities actually respond. That's why it's called Sattvatpati, and we have to become Sattvata. Sattvata means we have to be honest. What is honesty? Honesty means to obey scriptures. That is called honesty. Honesty does not mean honest just in dealings. That is basic, external. Internally means our life should be based on whatever the scripture injunctions are there. That is called Sattvata. If you go deep into the word of Sattvata, it means that whatever is written in scriptures, I accept. I'm ready to follow. You may not be ready to follow immediately, but ultimately you will follow. Like many people, many devotees said, I can't chant 16 rounds in the beginning. But that faith is that someday I'll be able to chant. And it happens. Devotees, because you have that desire to chant. Without the desire, how will Krishna make the room or give you the energy to make? So first desire is to be born in us. In this way, it happens. Like another example is many devotees are very shy or speaking in front of public. If you give them a microphone, they put their head away like that. They feel very shy of public. So at that time, what happens? Because I've seen many new devotees, and we train new devotees. And not all are successful, but slowly they become successful. You need confidence to speak. At the same time, you have to be sure that what you read from the scriptures is what you're going to speak. You're not supposed to mix anything. You're supposed to speak in the mood of the acharyas, the way it is in a disciplic succession. So at that time, the only person who can help you always is Krishna. He'll always help you. That's why here is a two-way transaction, a speaker and what we call a hearer, Shrota and Vakta. Sanskrit is called Shrota is the hearer, Vakta means the speaker. Both have to have faith in each other. For example, I come to Eldoret and I start giving a lecture. And when the lecture is started, people start walking away. Then I'll feel what wrong did I do? Did I make any mistake? Or people don't like my face or something? There'll be thousands of doubts coming in your mind. But here in this case, we find Naimi Sharanya. They are very anxious. And they are one-pointed. Imagine in those days, there was no speakers. And this Bhagavatam is recited in a forest. So imagine in a forest, there are thousands of trees around. Maybe they are sitting under the trees in the shade. So you can imagine the scene. Yet the sages are ready to hear from Sutta Goswami. So this is the mood. The hearers should be hearers or the Shrota must be very, very, very anxious to hear. And that's what Prabhupada is saying, that the sages were very anxious to hear about Krishna. And Krishna is Supreme Personality. The question is, why Krishna? What was the purpose of Krishna appearing in the womb of Mother Devaki as the son of Vasudeva? Now, this is answered in the 10th canto, right in the beginning of the 10th canto, how the demigods, along with the Mother Earth took the form of a cow, and they approached Lord Vishnu. And the Lord said, I will appear. And he appeared first in the mind of Vasudeva. And then it was transferred to Devaki. This will be answered very much elaborate. It's not like an ordinary birth. This is from the heart to the womb of Mother Devaki, or heart to heart, and then to the womb of Mother Devaki. And then Krishna appears. Now here what was the purpose? Anybody knows the purpose? Answer is there in Bhagavad-Gita. Krishna appears for 3 prime reasons. Anybody recalls? I give you the clue of the words. Paritnaya sadhuna. Okay, Avinash Prabhu, what is the answer? What are the 3 reasons?
So one is to protect the devotees of the Lord.
Yes.
And second one is to annihilate all the miscreants.
And the third one?
And the third one is to protect the dharma.
Re-establish, not just protect.
Re-establish.
Because dharma becomes distorted time to time. So again, dharma doesn't change. It has to be replaced the way it is. So the exact verse is, the actual verse is Paritnaya sadhuna, vinashaya cha dushkritam, dharma samsthapanarthaya, sambhavani yuge yuge. In every millennium, I come to protect the pious, I come to punish the miscreants, and to re-establish religious principles. Because without religious principles, nobody can live happily in this world. So these are the 3 reasons. But in Krishna's coming, these 3 were in a very big scale, very, very big scale. He protects so many devotees, he punishes so many demons, and he establishes the religious principles once again. So anyway, Vasudeva is a symbol of pure goodness. And Lord Krishna appeared to them Vasudeva is not an ordinary person. When Krishna appears, Krishna reminds Vasudeva of his two previous births. Anybody knows or anybody's read which are the previous verses? Who are the previous parents of Krishna? Same Vasudeva and Devaki were two other couples. Who are they? Anybody recalls? Okay, in the first appearance, there was Sutta and Purushna. That is way back in Satyuga. Then again he appeared as Vaman.
Aditi and Kashyap.
Yes, Aditi and Kashyap. And the third coming of Krishna is the son of Vasudeva and Devaki, at the same time son of Yashoda and Nand Maharaj. So this is very, very tricky. Not tricky, but it's like wonderful how Krishna can remember. That's why it says that when you know or hear about Krishna, then all the doubts of Krishna consciousness will go away. That is why the whole Bhagavatam is there. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, what is the evidence that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead? The evidence is the Bhagavatam. This is the evidence. When you read Bhagavatam, then you get, at every verse, you get an evidence that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Without hearing Bhagavatam, you can't know. Krishna has already declared that he is the Supreme in the Bhagavad-Gita. Matta Paratra Nanyat Kinchit Asti Dhananjaya. He says that 7:7. There is no truth beyond me or higher than me. He has already said this. And he says this in many, many verses, that I am supreme. But it is proven in Srimad Bhagavatam that Krishna is not just the supreme, but is origin of everything. Everything is coming from Krishna. Everything is maintained by Krishna. And everything will take rest in Krishna. So these are the main points Sri Prabhupada is explaining. The purport is, we should have this mood to hear Bhagavatam. When we set our mood like this, then the reply will be so nice. I mean, when you hear Bhagavatam, it's like Amrit. I don't know what you call Amrit, nectar. It will enter your ear. It will not just ear, 1 ear, 2 ears, and it goes straight to the heart and it purifies your heart. This is the way Bhagavatam has to be received, the way Naimisharanya, the rishis of Naimisharanya, who had done 1,000 years of sacrifice. Their bodies had even become blackish. When you do yagya, there is smoke coming out. It settles in the form of ash. And in fact, directly and indirectly, they were tired. But how long? At that time, Sutta Goswami comes there. Just like Arjuna was in anxiety. He was very much in the mood of fighting in the beginning of Bhagavad-Gita. And then the whole mood is set off. And Krishna speaks Bhagavad-Gita. And again he regains his, his composure. He's fully composed and obeys Krishna's every instruction. So in other words, this mood means you're to hear with a strong and faith and with a lot of enthusiasm. Any questions on this particular verse?
Yes, Prabhuji. You were saying, so when the devotees go to the temple, you speak to Krishna and tell him whatever is bothering you. But I thought he was the knower of all hearts. So do we have to tell him?
He knows everything, but it is still good to tell him. Even you don't speak, you may speak in the heart and he can hear. It's not that you take a microphone in your hand and announce that I have this problem. No, the meaning is, it is always good to present that not just problems, even your appreciation. I'm sorry to say, not just problems, even your appreciations. I have seen many of our ladies, those who come from Indian community, not these modern ladies, but at least those who follow the Vedic culture, they'll stand in front of Krishna with folded hands. They'll even do like this. It has a lot of meaning. The meaning is, you're studying all day, you must be tired. See the love of these simple ladies. It makes sense. So it's not that Krishna doesn't know everything. He knows everything. but yet it's good to speak. For example, I'm not saying this. For example, you are a beggar. Till you don't put your hand out, who's going to give you money? If you just stand like that, nobody's going to give you here. Just like behind our temple in Nairobi, there's a supermarket, Chandarana supermarket. And whenever I go there, there's one lady always standing there. And I've seen that lady given a lot of money, but still the habit is that I want money. So somebody will drop a coin, somebody will drop some notes. So without begging, you can't. And what are we begging for? We are begging for mercy. Even if we have everything, even if everything is okay, it's always good to ask for the mercy. Even asking mercy that I should be able to chant my round is also begging from Krishna. Prabhupada calls this begging as a crying. You have to cry to Krishna that I can't chant. I don't have taste for holy name. Please have mercy on me so that I can chant. And Krishna will be happy to give that mercy. Is that okay, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you so much.
Okay. So if there are no questions, we proceed to text 13. Yeah. Tanna shushu shamananam arhashi anganu varnitam yashavataro bhutanam shemaya cha bhavaya cha. Translation. O Sutta Goswami, we are eager to learn about the personality of Godhead and his incarnations. Please explain to us those teachings imparted by previous masters or acharyas, for one is uplifted both by speaking them and by hearing them. Okay, Mataji, you can read the purport.
Hare Krishna. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Jai.
The condition for hearing the transcendental message of the absolute truth as set forth herein. The first condition is that the audience must be very sincere and eager to hear, and the speaker must be in the line of the disciplinic succession from the recognized acharya. The transcendental message of the absolute is not understandable by those who are materially absorbed. Under the direction of a bona fide spiritual master, one becomes gradually purified. Therefore, one must be in the chain of disciplinic succession and learn the spiritual art of submissive hearing. In the case of Sutta Goswami and the sages of Naimisharanya, all these conditions are fulfilled because Srila Sutta Goswami is in the line of Srila Vyasadeva, and the sages of Naimisharanya are all sincere souls who are anxious to learn the truth. Thus, the transcendental topics of Lord Sri Krishna's superhuman activities, his incarnation, his birth, appearance or disappearance, his forms, his names, and so on are all easily understandable because all the requirements are fulfilled. Such discourses help all men on the path of spiritual realization. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Now this also is one of the 6 questions. Text 12 is a question, text 13 is also a question. Now in the previous verse we heard that why Krishna appeared as the son of Vasudeva and Devaki. This particular verse is, we also want to hear about various incarnations of this, about Krishna. So the whole Bhagavatam speaks about Krishna's coming in different incarnations, his different missions, his different dealings, and how he does it. This will enrich our spiritual knowledge, and it is all transcendental. So even our heart becomes transcendental. In other words, we become purified. So here Sri Prabhupada is saying that the conditions for hearing is both the speaker and hearer have to be qualified. So I mentioned Shrota and Vakta. Both have to be qualified. The hearer and the speaker. As well as you read Bhagavatam further, you'll come across a verse where in the Bhagavatam it says that where Bhagavatam is spoken, three things happen. The speaker gets purified, the hearer gets purified, and the entire audience gets purified. So much that there will be no enmity during Bhagavatam. This is the power of Srimad Bhagavatam. You may be sitting to hear Bhagavatam next to maybe a devotee with whom you may not be friends. You may be inimical to him, or maybe you're envious of him. But during that Bhagavatam, that envy will be removed. That is the guarantee of the power of Srimad Bhagavatam. So the condition is that both the speaker and the hearer have to be qualified. So can anyone say in Bhagavad-Gita, who is the speaker and who is the hearer? There are two speakers and two hearers. Who are they?
First Sanjay was speaking and Dhritarashtra was hearing. Then
Yes.
Krishna was speaking, Arjun was listening.
At least two speakers and two hearers. And in our case, Prabhupada is speaking, the purpose, and we are hearing. So at least for your information, you have to be qualified. So Sri Prabhupada in the introduction says that if you want to understand Bhagavad Gita, you have to be in the shoes of Arjuna. And if you want to hear Srimad Bhagavatam, you have to be like Parikshit. Because Parikshit heard for 7 days, 7 nights, without eating, without drinking a drop of water. So at least during Bhagavatam, you should not stand up. But here in Kenya or in the modern world, we don't have a capacity of hearing for more than an hour, maybe 40 minutes or 30 minutes. People get uneasy. But I have seen in India, people can hear even for 3 hours, even when there is no prasadam. Because people of India are very pious people, especially people of villages. I'm not talking of cities. Even now, if you go to India and start speaking about Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam, you'll find people will gather and they'll not drink even a drop of water. They say, no, it is an offense to drink water or to eat. They'll not even ask for prasad. So anyway, that is the glorious land of India. Next, Prabhupada says that the qualification of the speaker that he must be in disciplic succession. You cannot speak out anything which is being concocted in your own mind or born in your small, tiny brain. It has to come from disciplic succession. Disciplic succession means something which has been handed from a guru to disciple to a disciple to disciple. Like that way, the knowledge should be the way it is, unchanged. That is the qualification of a speaker. And that speaker must have heard, or he himself must be a recognized acharya. Recognized acharya means he should be recognized acharyas. In India, there are 4 paramparas. Sri Parampara, then we have, which is also called Lakshmi Parampara, Rudra Parampara, Brahma Parampara, and then Kumara Parampara. So our ISKCON is also in one of these paramparas. Does anybody know which parampara are we?
Brahma Sampradaya.
Yes, very nice. We are in the line of Brahma, and we have great acharyas in our line. We have Brahma, we have Vyas, we have Narad, we have Madhvacharya, we have Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the 6 Goswamis, and now we have Prabhupada. So don't forget you're rich. Not just rich, but very, very powerful parampara. Don't forget that. So we have to hear someone who is in the same parampara. That's why sometimes people say, oh, there is Krishna Katha, but someone else is speaking. But if someone is not from our parampara, it is advisable not to go and hear them. It may seem to be biased, but the mood is set in a different way. Prabhupada says in one lecture that when we are hearing Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, or even our devotional service, our mood should be that of Rupa Goswami. Rupa, that's why I call it Rupa Nugas. But now we are in the Prabhupada's mood, so we are Prabhupada Nugas. The mood has to be set. And we should keep that. This is not discrimination. This is the way it is. Next it says, because the message is transcendental, cannot be understood by materially absorbed persons. And this is one of the reasons why we should chant our rounds. Because if you don't chant our rounds, we are bound to be attracted by the illusory energy and we become materially absorbed. We'll do, in our mind, there'll be 1,000 things running. But if we chant regularly, especially our 16 rounds, though we have a material body, we are living in a material world, but we have a facility to understand this knowledge. You may hear from many devotees, oh Prabhu, even in our oh Prabhu, I'm trying to learn one verse in 1 month, but I can't. Why? Because you are not chanting. If you chant, your mind is stable, your mind is peaceful, and then you're keeping a room open for memorization. And you remember. The more you hear that verse recited many, many times, you can at once remember the verse. Why children can remember so quickly and why adults can't? That is the difference. So if you chant regularly, then what will happen? The effect is we will remember the spiritual knowledge, which is all transcendental. So submissive hearing is very, very important. You have to hear submissively. Just like some people have some hearing problem. So when you speak to them, they'll put their hand like that. You may have seen. And it's like, just say it again. In the similar way, we also have to be like that. With both our ears, we have to hear the message that one more word does not miss out when the speech is going on. So that is called submissive hearing. And Bhagavatam, the best way to serve Bhagavatam is just to do hearing, nothing more than that. The Bhagavatam has the power to cleanse you. So if you just hear Bhagavatam, you will be a different person after hearing. You may be a different person, you may be not even a proper devotee, or you may be just a neophyte. By having Bhagavatam, having heard Bhagavatam, you'll become another person altogether. In one verse, Sri Prabhupada is saying, if someone knows Bhagavatam, means he has heard Bhagavatam, and he has understood Bhagavatam, he did not need to have any other knowledge of this world, any other knowledge. He is fully equipped with all the knowledge of the world. And even beyond, not just this world, but also beyond. This is Srimad Bhagavatam. So if we find it as Sutta Goswami and the sages of the Naimisharanya are both qualified. Sutta Goswami is heard properly from the Parampara, and the sages have the right mood to hear. So both are qualified. So since all the requirements are fulfilled on both the sides, people can or they can understand Krishna's name, form, pastimes, qualities, and would understand whatever Sutta Goswami is going to say. And Naimisharanya, the sage of Naimisharanya, will be able to understand whatever Sutta Goswami is going to say. Because the mood is set. Just like when you are very hungry, the food is very tasty. That means you are eager to eat. Even if the food is tasteless, it doesn't matter. But once the food goes in, you feel satisfied. So here, their quest is to hear about Krishna. So we have to have that quest. I want to hear about Krishna. So such discourses are very, very important. Those who pursue the path of self-realization or God-realization. So hearing these discourses will purify you and make you a perfect devotee that even I can guarantee you. Hare Krishna. Time is up. Any questions? Any comments? Anybody like to add something?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, you told that the 6 questions said by the sages of the Naimisharanya. And the first is that in the text number 12, why Lord Krishna is appeared in the son of Devaki and Vasudeva. And what are the other 5 questions? Can you please tell, Prabhu?
As we read, the other questions will appear. If I speak all of them, then the mystery will go away. First two questions are already 12 and 13.
13 is, yeah.
Is also a question. 12 is a question, why Krishna appeared as a son of Mother Devaki and Vasudeva. The second question is, why speak about all the incarnations of Krishna? Still, there are 4 more questions. Which
Sorry, Prabhuji, we lost the connection on the second question. Can you repeat the second question?
So, in this chapter, I wrote, we want to hear about the personality of God and his various incarnations. Not just Krishna, but all his incarnations. You can hear, Mataji?
Prabhuji, now we can hear. Kindly repeat because we lost you. You are frozen.
Okay, the first question is why Krishna appeared as the son of Vasudeva and Devaki? First question. Second question is, we want to know about Krishna or the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his various incarnations. These are 2 different questions. It's okay? I can tell you briefly the questions if you want. I have them written down. Let me get the Bhagavatam. Okay, the question number 1 is, for what purpose the Supreme Personality of Godhead appear in the womb of Mother Devaki? Question. Sorry. First question is already gone. Explain to us what is the ultimate good for people in general is the question number 1. Parth Prema, you are hearing?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji. Now we can hear. Yes.
Okay. The first question. Okay. First question was, what is ascended to be the absolute and ultimate good of the people in general? Second is, select the essence of sacred text and explain to us the good of all people so that the heart may become fully satisfied. Second question. Third question, why did he appear, which is the text 12, as a son of Devaki or Vasudeva? Fourth question is the verse number 13. We want to learn about him and his various incarnations. Number 5, that those who develop relationship with the Lord relish the hearing of pastimes at every moment. And after Krishna is departed from this material, is gone to his abode, then where have the principles of religion taken their refuge? These are the 6 questions. Is it okay?
Yes,
I can send them in writing if you want.
Yeah,
I can WhatsApp
yes,
you so you can share with everyone. So
yes,
these are the 6 questions, and the whole Bhagavatam is an expansion of these answers of these 6 questions. Okay. Anybody has any other particular question?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Sorry to take you back, Prabhuji. I didn't get the mother and father of Krishna in Satyug. It was Sattapa and
Prashni. Prashni. P-R-S-N-I. Prashni. P-R-S-N-I. Prashni. Okay. Any other question? Any comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
So when we read Bhagavatam or any scripture at home, that time the speaker is Vyasdeva and we are the hearer. It's like that because there should be 2 persons.
Yes, yes. Speaker is always Vyasdeva. Whoever represents Vyasdeva is also the speaker. For example, you are hearing Prabhupada, for example.
Yeah.
He is also representing Vyasdeva. Or you are hearing from another devotee, is also representative of Vyasdeva. Is it okay, Mataji?
Yeah. And my another question is when, I mean, we always have so much of emphasis on reading in our institution, of course, that we
No,
have to
Mataji,
read.
your voice is not clear.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm telling, am I audible
yes.
now?
Yes.
Okay. So now that we have so much of emphasis on reading, like we must read at least 1 hour in a day. That's like our Guru's instruction and Srila Prabhupada's instruction. So is it necessary that we should be sitting in our temple room or in the front of our deities and read, or we can sit in the sofa and read, or like that?
I did not catch the whole question. Kritika Mataji, did you hear the question?
Yes, Prabhuji, the question is that do we read, Guruji has told us to read scriptures for 1 hour every day. So is it, so we can sit and read in the temple room, but is it okay to read on the sofa or anywhere else? Or do we have to read in the temple room?
No. You can read even on the sofa, but make sure you don't go to sleep. That is the thing. Because on the sofa, there's a tendency to go to sleep when you're reading. So it's always good to sit in a comfortable place. If you can sit in a yogic position in the temple or even in your room, even in your, your living room, it's not a problem. But the main thing is swadhyaya. Swadhyaya means study for 1 hour. You can even sit the way I am sitting now on a chair and a table. Because whenever I like to study, I like to sit. I cannot read in the bed. I have a tendency to go to sleep if I read in the bed. So everybody has different moods. The main thing is you should be able to absorb yourself in hearing or reading. Hearing or reading is the same. Of course, nothing can match hearing, but reading is equal to hearing. You can absorb the sound. There is no response. Okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
It's like she has lost it. Yeah, okay. Were you able to understand? Madhurupa?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, so you can read. If you have a temple room, very good. But maybe you are busy and you want to read in the sitting room, your living room, it doesn't matter. The mood should be to hear Bhagavatam.
Okay. Yeah, so Prabhuji, I generally prefer to sit in front of our deities in the room and read. But, sometimes we have shlokas on the mobile and like that. That is also counted as reading, or it's just like a normal browsing?
That is also counted as reading. Like yesterday, we had a house program, a very long house program. It became very, very interesting. We went at 6:30, we finished at 10 o'clock. It became so interesting. So I'm just sharing my own experience that one lady asked that my mother is 95 years old. She's worshiping Krishna for so many years, but now she's bedridden. So why doesn't Krishna take her away? So I said, Krishna has his own Leela with her. When the right time comes, he will take her away. And then I quoted that even when the body is undergoing pain and calamities, a devotee is not affected. And a Shonti, Viprada Shantu Saswat, Tatra Jagatpate. Let those calamities come again and again. So when I showed this verse on the form, she took a photo and she said, I'm going to learn this verse. Now, when she learns that verse, it means she's reading Srimad Bhagavatam.
Oh, yeah.
Is it okay, Mataji?
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Okay. So whether you are reading the purport or the verse, you're still in contact with Srimad Bhagavatam. And you know why Bhagavatam is so powerful? Does anybody know the clue? What is the answer? What makes Bhagavatam so powerful?
See, Bhagavatam is God himself.
Yeah, but what is the power behind Bhagavatam?
It's the literary form of Krishna himself.
Yes, it is none different from Krishna. Remember that. When you are holding a Bhagavatam in your hand, you are holding Krishna in your hand. Remember that. Not a piece or a pile of papers. It's not a mundane book. Because in these pages, as you read, if you are fortunate enough, you'll see Krishna. Actually, Krishna, Prabhupada says, is appearing on every page of Bhagavatam. But we will see Krishna as we read Bhagavatam and hear Bhagavatam submissively. Thank you. Thank you for the answer. Who's that? Arya Govind Prabhu. Okay, any other question?
Sure. Prabhuji, if Bhagavatam is Krishna himself, why not Bhagavad-Gita Krishna himself? Because Krishna told
also Bhagavad-Gita is Krishna himself. Bhagavad-Gita is also Krishna himself, none different. But why Bhagavatam is given more respect? Because it's complete, not just Krishna, with all the incarnations, right from the prior to the creation till now, and even the future. That there's more information in Bhagavatam. Because Bhagavatam, when you read and read, ultimately you come to Sarva Dharma Paritachya. It means you accepted Krishna. When you read Bhagavatam, it means after accepting Krishna, you go further. Bhagavad-Gita is Krishna speaking. Bhagavatam is Krishna speaking, Bhaktas or the Vaishnavas speaking, and the Leelas of Bhagavan, which enriches your heart and brings prema in your heart. Prema means love. As you hear about Krishna, you'll actually feel prema. See, let me ask you one simple question, Partha Prema.
Yes.
Which mood do you actually enjoy your chanting? You tell me that mood.
Yes,
yes, we are all chanting, but there's only one particular mood you actually enjoy your chanting. Which is that mood? Or which is that feeling?
No, Prabhu, I prefer the Bhagavad-Gita, Prabhu.
No, I'm not talking of scriptures. I'm talking of chanting. You are chanting, I am chanting, everybody is chanting, but there's only one particular feeling and a mood you actually enjoy your chanting. Can you explain? Yes. Can you explain that by your own experience?
Yes, Prabhuji. Sometimes we feel that we have connected to the Krishna. This is
in which mood? In which mood do you feel connected?
I can't explain, Prabhuji. But
okay, let me explain.
Service mode.
Yes, Madhu Rupa Madhu.
Is it service mode? Serving Krishna?
Yeah, very close, yes.
Prabhuji, as a beggar, begging for his mercy.
Yes, surrender, begging, little more.
For his pleasure, Prabhuji.
Huh?
For Krishna's pleasure.
Yes, for Krishna's pleasure. Number 3, any more?
Love for Krishna.
For love for Krishna, yeah, loving Krishna.
Yeah, all right. I'll give you one straight answer. You enjoy your chanting when you're feeling very humble, not otherwise. Okay. Simple answer. If you chant in a very humble mood, you'll enjoy your chanting. I can even guarantee you feel like crying at that time. But that mood doesn't come daily. Remember that. So you have to practice to get that mood. Am I right, Parth?
Yes, Prabhuji, yes.
Am I right or wrong?
Yes, absolutely, Prabhu.
I'm sharing my experience.
Yes.
Because sometimes we are so happy. We may be in so much ecstasy. We are chanting, but the words are not entering the ears. We are finishing our round. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare. The fingers are moving, lips are moving, but the words are not entering the ears. In the state of humility, your head is down. Yes, you are standing, but you are down at the feet of Krishna in a begging mood. And in a humble state of mind, when you chant, you actually enjoy your chanting. In a similar way, when you hear Bhagavatam in the humble state of mind, that is called submissively. Same mood.
This is the same like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has told in Shikshashtakam.
Yes. Yes. Chinadapi Sulichena, Taroeva Saisena, Amanina Manadena, Kitaniya Sadahari. Yes. And you have to put yourself in a very helpless mood, which is in the 5th verse. Ainanda Tanuja Kingaram Padidanam Ishari, Pavama Bhutto, Kripyata Vapada Pankaja, Stita Duli Siddharsham, Vichintaya. This is the mood. That I am not supposed to be here, but I have been sent here. Somehow or other I am here. Place me, pick me up and put it at your lotus feet. Now this needs a lot of humility. We speak it, but you have to actually practice it. Anyway, thank you very much.
Prabhu, can I ask one very small question?
Yes,
I'm a bit confused. When Sukdevji said Bhagavatam to Parikshit Maharaj, it was under a tree. And when Sut Swami said to all the Rishis, the place is called Demi Sharanya. Does it mean that way?
No, when Sukadeva Goswami was speaking, it was at the shore of the river Ganga.
River Ganga?
Yeah.
Yes.
I can show you the picture. It is appearing here in every Bhagavatam, you can see this picture. Here, you can see this picture, Mataji?
Yes, very common.
Now, in the background, you see Ganga is flowing. The sages are sitting and he's given a seat because after all, it is a royal seat given to Sukadeva Goswami. But when Sutta Goswami is speaking, he is in the forest.
So when Sutta Goswami
is a mode of goodness,
But when Sutta Goswami said it was after 1,000 years?
No. Not very long. In a matter of years, not 1,000 years.
It is the end of,
he heard
it is the time of Dwapar Yuga. No, it is the time of Dwapar after.
Yes, at the end of Dwapar Yuga, Krishna is left, Bhagavatam is spoken. After Bhagavatam was spoken, Sukadeva Goswami is one of the hearers, but he was a Shrutidar because he was blessed by Balramji. He's the son of Roma Harshna. That he could hear, he could memorize the entire Bhagavatam. And when the opportunity came at Naimisharanya, it was spoken.
So Sut Swami heard from Sukdevji actually.
Yes.
While
that's why it's called Parampara.
Parikshit Maharaj was also hearing.
No. At that time, Parikshit Maharaj had already left.
No, Prabhuji, she's asking when Parikshit Maharaj was hearing, at that time, Sutta Maharaj was in the audience as well.
Yes, along with Parikshit. Yes, along with many sages, including Vyasdev, including Narad. Imagine they are more learned than Sukadevji, but Sukadevji is so qualified because his Vani, his speech was so alluring, so sweet that people could pick the Bhagavatam nicely or hear the Bhagavatam nicely. Okay?
Yes, Prabhu, thank you. Yes, Prabhu, thank you very much. Prabhuji, one doubt is that, Prabhuji, we can know in Bhagavatam there are so many speakers and so many audience. Like a Brahma speak to the Narada, that is one section. Then Sutta Goswami, Sukadeva Goswami speak to Parikshit Maharaj and all these sages. That is second. Third is Namisharanya, Sutta Goswami to the other sages. We are in which line, Prabhu?
We are in the same parampara. We are hearing from Prabhupada. Bhagavatam has 4 conversations.
Four.
Parikshit Maharaj, Sukadeva Goswami, sages of Naimisharanya and what you call Sutta Goswami. Then Maitreya and Vidura.
Yes.
And then Narad and Yudhishthira.
Narad. Then we are which?
We are hearing all 4. We are very more fortunate. We are hearing all 4 of them through the via medium of Srila Prabhupada. Is it okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for your nice and wonderful class. Also, I request all the devotees, please unmute yourself and chant Hare Krishna mantra for a glorification of His grace, Rukma Prabhuji. Please join. Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Panchakalpatarubhyasya Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Bhagavatam ki jai.
Jai.
Just before we close, I can give you that verse of the 9th chapter where it says, Samoham Sarva Bhuteshu. What do you call it?
No me dvesha, no me priya.
Name Vashta, Name Priya. Okay, it's 29. 9:29. 9:29, those who are writing, those who are taking notes. Samoham Sarva Bhuteshu Na Dvesha Asti Na Priya. Yej bhajanti tu mam bhaktya maiti teshu chapyaham. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Shri Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.